Hey everybody, my name is Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors and coaches to build a business on your terms. And for those of you who are regular watchers, you know the drill. We would love to know the buzz in your business. Today, we are going to be speaking about how to make additional money from your book. And we've basically got a recipe for you. So, you know, if you're on the hashtag replay, put hashtag replay. Then if you haven't already got it, go and get some pen and paper because we are definitely going to be making some suggestions for you to really make your book work for you is what we're talking about. But whilst you're all joining and whilst Kelly's sharing this out in the Connection Hub, which is where, oh, hi, Gabor, how are you? I've got you all sorted. I need to speak to you.
Personal plans aside,
it's neither here nor there. So what we want to tell you about in terms of buzz in our business is the Connect and Create Day tickets are available. And in fact, Gabor has pretty much kind of been to most of them thinking about it. They are the day on which you can come meet us and 15 like-minded, like-valued Connection Hub members in the flesh, see the rest of them rather than just their little picture on Facebook, and really get to work on your business and take some time out to really establish what's going on and where you want to go, as well as get some real feedback.
And network.
Yeah, completely.
Right? Practice pitch.
So practice the pitch, but also so many collaborations have come out of the Connect and Create Days that we've been running for the last 18 months or so.
We would love you to come, Kieran.
Maybe
you can share your story.
Come and make an appearance. Come and make an appearance. We would really like that. Now, the biggest buzz in our business, and I think many of you have already sort of started joining, is that we've got a whole new look directory. So one of the things that we did over a year ago was just as an ad hoc, how do I find? We kept getting the question of how do I find this person, this publisher, that agent, this web developer, etc. And so as the Connection Hub is set up to really connect speakers, authors and coaches to the professionals that we want you to, as well as the peers that you have, we sort of on the fly set up something that really made do for a little while.
Just a Google Doc,
yeah, exactly. But actually, we've been working hard over the last kind of 6 weeks to a month to 6 weeks to build you a new directory. So if you haven't added your details, please go and add your details. It is a great way. I mean, we're really enjoying all the people who are coming in.
Seeing you come to life, because we know you often buy a tiny little profile picture and your name, but now we're seeing your big profile picture,
and
all
seeing
your social
bio
media,
and just finding out more about you. So it's a great way for you to get to know everybody else as well. And again, the potential for opportunities, collaborations, and even just kind of moving your business forward is what that's all about. And
links in the comments, just join yourself. Uh-oh.
I'm allowed to say this word now.
Yes.
Christmas is around the corner. Well, December is for sure. And that really means a lot of parties. And we've got one coming up next week.
We have one for our Changemaker, our membership program. So we've got one coming up, I think it's the third.
Yeah.
God, I don't know.
So that's exciting. Next Tuesday, I guess that is.
And I've got another one the day afterwards. So it's going to be partied straight out.
Party season. And within that, we still want you to keep an eye on your business, right? And so part of that is this training that we're going to do. So I'm going to launch in and let you keep on doing it, unless we've got some buzz.
Amy's saying hi. Kieran's sharing the buzz in his business. He's currently working on a writing an anger management course.
Ooh. He's just dabbling little like he's dropping little
and he maybe come to the Connect and Create Day.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Teasing all the time.
Yeah, I know, he is teasing all the time. In fact, that's possibly going to be your nickname in some way, shape or form. So let us tell you a little bit about why this particular one. So as you know, Kelly and I set up Speaker Insight to really serve the speakers, authors and coaches in the world to ensure that you maximize the impact, the income that each of you makes in the way that you uniquely make it. And what we know for sure is that every single product has a purpose, or should have a purpose. Maybe that's fair to say. Every single product in your product range should have a purpose. And we definitely believe that it's a blend of being a speaker, author, and coach that actually allows you to make the most of your business. So what we really, it doesn't matter what your core expression is. You might be a speaker at heart, but what we're saying is that coaching or consulting and writing all play a part in really growing your business. So today we want to shine a light on books, your book or the books that you actually have, and how you're making them work for you. Because you've heard me say this before, there's you and there's your business. And inside your business, there are products. And each product, if you think of it this way, you may never have, is an employee. And what we're really asking is when was the last time you did a review? Is it working hard enough for you? Is it meeting its targets?
Are you sweating that asset?
Exactly. So because here's the thing. Book sales alone do not a business make. We definitely know this to be true.
What? 10% of a £9.99 book isn't going to sustain me for the rest of my life?
It probably won't pay the mortgage.
Horror.
No. And so because that doesn't put food on the table, we need to, as Kelly just said, sweat the asset. So we thought we'd share some of the ways that we know that we can make your book go that little bit further or work that little bit harder for you.
Get more buck for your book.
Oh,
I'm on it today.
She's on it. She's totally on it. So because you're a creative bunch and you've potentially already made your book kind of do the work for you, do share, because this is not an exhaustive list by any means. Share anything that you've done that makes more buck for your book. In that way, right? I'm going to make you a little meme at some point soon. So some of these may be a straight no for you. So we've gone far and wide with these. So some of them you'll be like, nah, that's not for me. But some of them you might just go, you know what? I haven't actually thought about that, and I'm going to give that a go, or I'm going to think about putting that in for my next quarter, and then come to the Connect and Create Day and work on it, because that would be fun as well. So.
I want to share a couple of people's buzzes.
Yes, please.
So Jo said that she's revamping her website to focus more on her consultancy services.
Yay, that makes me
Hallelujah.
happy. Woohoo!
I know you worked on that with the retreat with us, Jo, so we look forward to seeing that come to fruition. And Amy, the buzz is that she's almost all of her February blog posts written,
You're a
2
machine.
video logs made, and she's working on a course using text messaging as the distribution system. Maybe check out textlocal.com then, Amy, if that's something you're looking into, because that will be a potential good provider for the text messaging side of things.
Completely. 2020 is going to be a big year. We hear you, because of course 2020 is the kickoff to a whole new decade, and I am just totally going to say it. And if you're not coming to my vision board workshop, why not? Like, seriously, that's all I'm going to say, because really, yeah,
if you want to get the vision right,
set your vision.
So some of these things that Helena said we're going to talk about getting more buck for your book. Some of them are going to be a bit late for you, because sometimes you need to have this is before you write the contract or have your book published by a traditional publisher.
But that's exciting for those of you who are lurking around writing your book.
Yeah, some of them are going to be like, I need that now while I'm writing my book before I get my proposal off. Yeah. But some of you might actually want some agents to look for, literary agents to actually negotiate that out. So we've also got some contact details for them right at the end.
Yes.
But some of you who have already published your book, there's still going to be some gold in here for you.
Totally.
So let's go through, I don't know how many we've got, a few ways to actually get more buck for your book. The first one is consider the fact that you could actually get paid as a voiceover artist, right? So the surge in popularities for audiobooks now, what will normally happen, this is when you traditionally publish, is that a traditional publisher, if they've agreed they're going to put your book into an audio format, they will pay for a voiceover artist to do the audio recording of your book. You often don't get the choice of whether you're going to be that voiceover artist or not. So again, if you're in this negotiation stage, it's something to put yourself forward for. Yeah. Now, if you are, as Helena said, that blend of an author and a speaker, and you are already professionally trained as a speaker, no-brainer that one, you've got the capacity and the skills to do an audiobook, but two, when someone's listening to you on stage, that transition of then hearing you again in the book makes that transition process much smoother. Yeah. So on average, depending on, this is not if you've got Stephen Fry, for example, to do your audiobook. If you're a professional voiceover artist, you'll probably get paid between £400 to £1,000 to do an audiobook. So this is another way of you earning an additional stream of income, is to say, look, I want to voice over my own book. I have the skills, capacities, and this is an additional income I want to charge for that, because you'd be charging somebody else anyway.
Yeah.
So that's your first, hey, grand on top of your book sales.
You kind of want your book to be told in your voice, you know, sort of, because it just makes sense.
But I hence to add,
Yes.
it's really bloody hard recording an audiobook. You might think it's like speaking or Facebook Lives or podcasts.
It's really
It's
not.
not, right? It's your little stomach rumble,
Yeah.
your mouth goes dry, you're trying to keep the level of enthusiasm,
Noise,
your diction, everything up for a long period of time, like a couple of days at a go.
Yeah.
So don't think it's easy,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, consider that as an additional buck to your book.
Yeah. So the second thing, or the second way, is really, you know, your publisher is going to give you free copies. And when you, and here's the thing, as an author, you also get an author discount price from the publisher too. So you can sell those, always keep your eye on kind of the profitability around this. You can sell those at full RRP from your website or at the back of a room and wherever else you are selling them, maybe even at the local bookstore, you know, sort of, who knows, right? Now, the thing about this is that by its very nature, because you've got it at a discount, you're selling it at full price, you will get more than 10% back on each of the books. So that's one way.
It's a little bit
Tiny
of cash,
way,
but it's still more, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is to actually think again, going back to if you're a speaker, is to think about how can you, maybe when you're doing a contract for a keynote, you're at an AGM, actually having the every member of the audience having a copy of your book, right? So actually putting that book sale into your contract. And I know a lot of speakers that I've managed have actually gone with a traditional publisher, and they've got a large organisation, let's say something like Sky or Cisco, and the CEO has actually written the foreword in the book, and there's a company logo of Sky or Cisco on the front cover. So the publishers have gone, look, we're going to put together 4,000 copies of this book, bespokely make the first couple of pages so it's branded for that co-branding of the corporation. If that person then will then put that into contract, and they do get that discounted price for buying in bulk, as Helena said before. So think, can I add my book into my speaking contract as an added value?
Yes.
And two, can I make it even better for the corporation I'm working with by actually bespokely making those copies? And you should have a little sales sheet from your traditional publisher that will put out all the prices and what that would look like. So if you haven't got that, ask your publisher.
Yeah. And of course, that also kind of means when you are speaking, how does your book, do you have a book that relates to the keynote that you're doing all of the time? If you don't, again, we're talking about the blend, then have a think about how can I put this content in so that I might be able to create that type of scenario. So just a flip side of that one. One more thing that you can do that's sort of allied to that is around bundling your book into an offer with something else. Now, for some of you, you've written several books, so that might just be a book bundle, so to speak. All I want for Christmas is 3 of the books, etc. But a bundle is more than that. It's thinking about what else, or indeed who else, can you partner with your book to make it a much more unique and therefore attractive version. So it might actually be that you bundle it with the online course that you have. You might do the book and course combo. It might be that somebody else has the information that they need before or after that you can partner with that actually go well with your book, and then actually do a deal, because what that does is it raises the average order price and also gives the book an entirely different life, right?
When I worked with Brendan Burchard, I remember when he did this, and he partnered with John and Jeff Walker, and he was selling Expert Academy, and as a bonus when you signed up for Experts Academy, you got their product launch book. So it was that bundling offer of putting it together.
So have a think about that. You know, sort of who out there might use or utilize the information in your book as a bonus, or indeed as a thing that allows people to understand even better the thing that they have.
Now, if your book is actually covering and has content around your IP, your intellectual property, it could be your framework, your methodology, the style of teaching, then you might consider repurposing the content of the book into a different format. This can be done in an app.
Yeah.
It could be a workshop. It could be an online course. These are all things where you're just repurposing the content and going deeper. Or actually, if it's an app, you might be going lighter, but you're making it more practical. So it brings it to life so that people can access the information in different ways. Yeah. Now, considering this, it's really important in your contract that you negotiate out things like digital rights. Because if you create an app, and that's in, and you haven't negotiated that out of your contract, then your publisher will actually be taking the commission from your app sales as well as your book sales.
And you don't want that, really, do you? Because we're talking about increasing your profits, not decreasing your profits. And speaking about kind of exclusive media rights, the contract, your book contract, is such an important thing, which is why we are, as Kelly said, going to share some people that might actually really help you with this piece, because it is so vital. The reason I say this is that sometimes, you know, if your book is really newsworthy or story-worthy in some way, you can get some exclusive PR coverage. Again, if you've actually managed to take those media rights out of the contract so that you have control over where you show up. So we know of several authors that have actually done an exclusive PR piece with one paper or magazine in some way that actually allows you to get a fee for that particular thing. But again, only if you've pulled it out of the contract.
Yeah. So those journalists, those publications will pay for exclusivities, right? Especially if you're how well you've positioned yourself. Well,
if you're renowned in some way,
if you're like a Jeffrey Archer of the world, right? At their book, then you're going to get an exclusive around that. Yeah. So think about that, but you do need to make sure that those media rights are out.
And I'm really glad that Menika's joined, because I've got one for you.
Mention her.
Oh, you see, I did. Well, I've got one for you in a couple of minutes.
I'm going to grab you now, Menika. Just because I was thinking about this. So another thing to think about is sometimes your story, this might not be based on your IP and your methodology, but if you've got a book which is based around your story, Menika,
I know.
Right? Then sometimes there is a potential for your book to be turned into a TV show or a film. Now, there are a couple of people in the Connection Hub where this has happened to. You've worked with. So Deborah McPhillamy has done a children's one.
Totally.
And Casper Craven, I can release this now. Yeah. His book, which is about, you know, sailing the world and being a business adventure, is
it's called Where the Magic Happens. Yeah. It's brilliant.
But that's been potentially turned into a film as well. Yeah. So that's massive extra income onto your book. If you've actually negotiated in your contract outside the TV and film rights, okay? So these are all things to be thinking about if you're writing your book now, to go, yes, this could be extra income, but I need to make sure that comes to me and not the publisher.
You know, what's my intention for this book is a really, really good question to ask. When thinking about what do I need to consider that goes in the contract, what will I allow in the contract, what won't I allow in the contract, right? So that you've got this. So another thing that you can do is, for some of you, it may actually be that you are indeed very much a change maker, and the slogans or the messaging that you do lends itself beautifully to merchandise. So what merchandise can you make, whether it's mugs? She says,
nice plant.
Do you see what I did
I've got my wrong mug today. I'm a superhero in disguise.
She is.
I'm a traitor.
You know, you are at the moment. It's like, where's your mug? But anyway, so, you know, it might even be, so this is our manifesto. You probably can't see it right here, and I'm not getting up to show you. But, you know, it might actually be that there are posters or T-shirts or some other kind of promotional material. Maybe it's the characters within a book that actually start to show up. I mean, if you think about all of the, you know, I'm going to go into the Star Wars realm, Harry Potter realm. If you think about Frozen, all the merchandise kind of, well, but same, right? You know, so if you think about what is the potential for the merchandising element that's in there, again, needs consideration in the contract. But, you know, there are places that you can actually sell those, like Cafe Press or Zazzle, Etsy, if you're really crafty around these sorts of things. It may actually be that your book goes with the worksheets or the planners that you might actually put together. And now I'm back to bundling, you know, in some way. So have a think about, what is it that the more common world, you know, sort of out there in the world might want on a mass-produced level, that might just be the hashtag something or other that you say.
I think that ties in with what Kieran's asking about the timing of releasing a book, e.g. special holidays or events. I think that ties into the merchandise side of things, because if you can bundle something up where the book comes with a Christmas hamper of this, or an Easter one of this, or a Valentine's special of this, then that's something to always consider about when your book is going to be released.
Yeah.
The other thing which I know that you've experienced recently is when you actually do a sort of a read-along coaching program when your book is released, so that these people can actually read a chapter all together as a group coaching side of things, and then you come together once a week, once a month, once a quarter to then discuss that chapter with the author, so that they basically then can offer some deep dive coaching, answer questions, and it feels like it's like a read-along mastermind. Yeah. And I know you've done it recently, haven't you?
It's absolutely brilliant, because you want to be with the author. It's like you really appreciate this book, or you've been waiting for this book. What you're doing as a speaker, author, or coach is giving them access to you through the book, and it becomes a kind of launch piece that you can do. So you could have easily 100 people reading the book alongside you, not only getting the feedback sort of in this way, but also them being able to ask you questions, and you just getting extra revenue for it, and potentially a whole bunch of ideas for your next book.
But you do. Sometimes you read a book and you go, I wonder why he thought that, or where did that idea come around? And you get the opportunity to ask that and get coaching.
And trust me, people will pay for that, because I certainly have recently, and it's been invaluable, because it's been a reasonably priced way for me to get in touch with the authors of a particular thing. So, here's the wild one. There's got to be a wild card in here. Menaka, this is one for you, so I hope you're still listening. Hi, Shaquille. Nice to see you. Or to see that you're here anyway. So this one is a little bit of a wild one. And for those of you who either who are writing fiction, or who are indeed writing something that is story-based, like Menaka's story, you can use something like context travel and actually set up experiences where you do tours of the places in your book. Like, how magical would that be? I don't know about you, but Harry Potter fans, how many of them go to King's Cross to actually find that platform?
Station,
right? And it's there, it's right there. But actually offering an experience tour a day that takes people through would be an amazing thing. Now, for Menaka, that means a trip to the sunshine, and actually doing it in that way, right? And so it's a little bit of a wild card, but the actual idea of you doing something that makes your book come to life with you, or indeed just makes your book come to life, may be an option for you.
Yeah. So we've gone through a various different ways to earn extra buck for your book.
Buck for your book.
And as you've heard, quite a lot of them actually work negotiating that out of your contract.
Truly.
Which is normally done more effortlessly when you have an agent on your side.
Yes.
So I'm going to put some links here to some various directories, resources. Oh, why didn't it post?
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So that you can actually start resourcing where you might find some literary agents, some people that we've actually interviewed, like we've got my manuscript down there. Yeah. So we've actually done some interviews with those people to actually work out not only how to find the publishers, how to find the editors, how to find the literary agents, how to get feedback on your proposals. But this is, and there's the London Writers Club, who we're going to do a Facebook Live with as well, but they have monthly meetups where they've actually got agents there and lots of information on their blog articles, but they have a membership side. And then there's 2 other websites which are just purely free directories for you to actually go and source agents that will work on your behalf wherever you are listening to this in the world.
Yeah, because it is so important that like I started by saying, is your book working for you? Your book is really an employee. But in order to actually make that employee have the best opportunity to be out in the world, you need to consider what you want it to do for you right from the very get-go, and actually think about that in terms of the contract, because the contract can be a real help for you, but it can also be a real hindrance if you don't put the thought and effort in. That's why Kelly and I, whenever we're really working with someone, we talk about doing one core project per quarter, because it takes a lot of thinking and doing and really considering the wider impact of where that product sits in your product range. And so
and in your marketing
and
plan.
in your marketing plan, because the two of them kind of run like parallel tracks, and that's really what we focus our efforts on with the people that we work with. So we want you to really understand that your book can be so much more than just book sales. It can open all sorts of doors, but you need to manage that process and likely get some help in to manage that process. So we hope this has been useful.
Yeah.
There's some work for you to do. If you are already an author, there are some things to look up. And if you're thinking about it in terms of that blend of being a speaker, author and coach, maybe you're a speaker, consultant, coach right at the moment, you know, actually, how can being an author bring that fully into alignment, and how can you use some of these things to make that help you with the other two things?
Right. And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Short and sweet today.
Have a good one.
Bye. Oh, I'm stuck.